having a sense of humor, or both having senses of humor, really is a very big plus.
All I want is just to be me, 'cause what I feel is free. And I don't always want to watch what I'm eating, 'cause chocolate gets the best of me. And if I ride my bike, it's to get from A to B.
Hi, Macy from the Love Advantage and Love Vibe TV. I am here today to share this week's episode, and I just wanted to talk about what gets in the way of creating the things we want to create in our life. And most of you are watching this because you want to meet the love of your life, create that kind of relationship. And what really is getting in the way is a very simple thing called resistance. And that is a animal, an energy, a thing, who knows what obstacle that comes in all shapes and sizes. So if you are feeling like you've always wanted to be in a special relationship and you can't seem to get there, then there's probably some form of resistance there. And in many of my videos, I talk about, beliefs and different maybe behaviors or whatever that keep us from love. Certainly all the love repellents talk about that, but there's a bigger, more global thing that happens when we want something new. Basically, it's creating change in your life. And when you're creating change in your life, then the natural thing that's going to happen is that there's going to be some sort of fear or obstacle that gets in the way, and that is resistance. And one of my favorite books is called The War of Art. And it's really helpful for artists and creatives who want to finally do that thing that they've longed for all their life. But it applies to anyone who wants to create anything. So it goes through, and Stephen Pressfield describes all the different forms of resistance. And they're very vast and sneaky. And no one's safe from it. So it's really kind of interesting, because one thing he shares is that the more that you want something, the bigger the resistance. And therefore, the more persistent you are in moving through the resistance, the bigger the reward. So in a sense, when you're doing something that is leading you to something that you really want, if you can have the capacity or get the tools and strategies you need to kind of move through that resistance, the bigger the reward. And frankly, that's a lot of what I do with my work. I mean, really, the work I do with women to help them find meaningful relationships is uncovering and navigating the different kinds of resistance that we have. And when we can expect that that's going to be there, then we are prepared to handle it. And that's what I know to be true. And how do we develop the persistence and faith that we can have what we want and that we can continue to move forward even when the obstacles seem really big? And it's possible. My teacher, Yogi Bhajan, he shares that there is a way through every block. And I really believe that really there's nothing that we can't get through. It's just, how do we trust that what it is that we're feeling or longing for in our heart is something that we can actually have? Because the more scary thing is, what if I try and fail? And what if I put all this energy into it and it doesn't work? And what if you don't try? What if you don't try, you know what you get? And that's kind of what our bodies are more wired to do, is to say, well, I know I want this thing, but even though I'm kind of miserable not having it, at least I know what flavor of misery that is. And otherwise, I don't even know what it's going to be like. I don't even know how that'll feel. So our body's like, oh, that's too scary. So it's natural that our nervous system is just going to be like, putting on the brakes. But good news is, now that you know it, hey, awareness is everything. Awareness can heal everything. Now that you know that resistance is just natural, then you can name it. You can say, oh, hey, resistance, I see you now. And certainly it's easy to get tricked, because resistance can look like stuff that's really believable as an obstacle. It can look like illness. It can look like financial problems. It can be, busy at work. It can really be disguised as almost anything. And that's the challenge. It's really something that's kind of invisible. You can feel it. But the more that we are really interested in something, the bigger the resistance will be. And the more that we really want something, and the bigger the resistance is, the more important it is for your soul to go there. Because this is really about our soul's evolution. So any kind of adversity that comes up along our path is really helping us to grow. And I know that sounds really difficult to hear sometimes, but at the same time, I think it's comforting to know that ultimately it's a good thing. I love that Stephen writes this. Resistance is directly proportional to love. If you're feeling massive resistance, the good news, it means there's tremendous love there too. If you didn't love the project that is terrifying you, you wouldn't feel anything. The opposite of love isn't hate, it is indifference. So good to know.
Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhyo Yo Na Prachodayat.
So the keys here are to recognize if there's something you really want, there will always be resistance. So just knowing that is comforting to say, oh, I'm going to expect that there's going to be resistance and I'm ready to face it. Second piece is to be super persistent. Be willing to do what it takes to honor your dream, your mission, your dream of having love. Whatever it is, be willing to take a stand for that and get the support, have the accountability, get the tools and practices you need in order to be equipped to handle any resistance that comes up and move through it so that you can have this massive reward. And then the final piece, I think, is to really have faith that what it is you feel in your heart is true. And you just sense that and use your knowingness and connect more to your intuition so that you have that certainty and you can follow your soul's path. Thank you for watching Love Vibe TV. It's so great to have you in this community. And I really want to hear from you. So please leave your comments below. Let me know what stood out for you. Did you have an aha moment? Share this, because as you share and declare and acknowledge these things, you're offering a healing for yourself, but it's also in the sharing that can help other people have their own breakthroughs in their love life. And certainly, if you found this helpful, like the video, share the video, because I'm sure that if it was helpful to you, it'll be really helpful to someone else too. And that's my mission, is to really support single, creative, loving, spiritually conscious women find meaningful love. So let's do this together. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Can't wait to see you soon. Bye.
Is just to be me, 'cause what I feel is free. And I don't always wanna watch what I'm eating, 'cause chocolate